This is Dr. Anis, Senior Assistant Professor at Bahria University. Today, we have made an effort of the strata training. This will be a whole day training. It means that we have two different type of sessions. Session first will be linked with the theory and all those misconceptions and myths and realities about the research that has been created or that is known to you people or unknown to you people. So what will be the criteria of this session that when the first session will end, then we will have a break of 10 to 15 minutes, and during this 10 to 15 minutes, you will prepare your questions. So when I will come back, then I will give you all the answers that is in your mind. So this will be the pattern of the of this training. And the most important thing for this training is that it is not only academic training. Many students in the world are earning a lot of money through this training as well. Like if you listen it very carefully, you can learn as a freelancer as well. You can earn as a freelancer, and you can earn from different type of websites, different type of apps like Fiverr, from your Fiverr as well. So the only problem for the student whenever they are going to study the papers, when they see the methodological section, they just get astonished. So, what is the effort for this session is to know about the methodological sections of the thesis. So, in my opinion, students have a lot of thinking, and the when I was a student, the only difficult part for me was the methodological section, finding which all the uh, okay. So what basically this means, okay, I just got disturbed because of the missed call from you people. So kindly please switch off your cell phone. This will be a very interactive and very concentrated type of session. So we will go for it as well. So what what I was discussing, let's come to see all these things practically what is happening in the world as well. So let me share the screen with you people uh, about the all these things. I'm audible to everyone, please.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
जी sir.
Okay. And can you see the screen as well?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the first slide about this training, that there's a misconception between proposals, theses, and dissertations as well. The difference between proposal, thesis, and dissertation is like that. If you are an MS or MPhil student, so you have to go for the proposals, and then if you are a PhD student, you should go for the dissertations, and then you will go for the thesis. Even there is a spelling difference in between MS and PhD thesis writer. So, what is basically you are going to do in a proposal? That in a proposal you have to use uh, the future tense. Like whenever you will go to the methodological section, you have to use the future tense. And what type of future tense? That still you did not gather the data, still you are in a proposal stage. That is why when the proposal will be completed and data will be gathered, so when you will write the thesis once again, then the methodological section should be right in the past tense, because then you are directly writing the methodological section. And similarly, there is also misconception between human resource, marketing, and finance student, that their proposal will be different. So obviously, their topic can be different, but whenever they will go for the proposal write-up, the methodology section can be same as well, like for human resource management, marketing, and finance as well. However, most of the renowned statistician made the difference between the softwares, that what type of software you will use for human resource, what type of software you will use for marketing, and what type of software you will use for the finance. Like in this scenario, we have a lot of software, like we have the stata, we have the views, we have the or, we have the python, we have structure equation model, we have the stata, spss, and so on. The basic objective of all these software is to give you an interface where you can analyze and predict your model. And how you will develop this model, this model will be discussed step by step to with you people. So coming to the point, what will be the difference between proposal and thesis? Proposal should always be in the shape of what? In the shape of uh, in the shape of future tense. Well, the thesis should be in the shape of past tense. Another thing, that is about the title. The About the title, what basically people think about the title is, uh, most of the student, they misconcept this title of the research. Like there is a Pakistani context and there is an international context. So student have the problem of what? Of the title. Like the university management always tells them that you cannot change your title. Obviously, this is the decisions of the management. However, on international level, if you will get some changes, then you can change the title of the research as well. However, there is a specific criteria, like for every organization, that you have to meet. So in Pakistani context, if your title is final, you cannot change the title, because the same title is fitted into different type of library, which should be considered as final. However, on international level, you can discuss with your supervisor and with the examiner. After mutual understanding, you can have a little bit of changes in your research title. So this is the second thing you are doing. The third one is about people are still coming into the room, so I will admit them time to time. Okay, wait a bit. Let me mute all. I will admit all. Okay. So the another thing, I'm audible to everyone, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the
Yes,
first
sir.
thing, the first thing we discuss about the title, that what should be the title. Then we discuss about the misconception between proposals and dissertation. That what will be the proposal? Proposal should always be in the future, because still you did not gather the data. While the thesis defense, when you will go for the methodological section, it will be in the past tense, because you have the data in your hand and you have run so many statistical tools on it. The purpose of this training is that you have to go from the scratch, from the from the misconception of thesis and misconception of proposals. Then we will study about the title, whether you can change the title or not. This was also a very frequent question asked by many students. That's why I included this slide as well. The third question is about abstract. Okay. What basically misconception is that most of the students they put abstract into the proposal. However, there is no need of abstract into the proposal. It is just a proposal. So abstract should be in your thesis when you will complete the whole thesis, because time to time when you will experience and you will go from one chapter to other chapter, then based on these experiences, when you will move to the methodological section, obviously you have to change the abstract. ठीक है, क्योंकि जब आप proposal लिख रहे होते हैं, then there is no data in your hand, so you did not include the specific results in the abstract. That is why it will be changed. So when it will be changed, there is no need of abstract in the proposal. However, the abstract is required when your thesis will be final. When it will be final and when you will go for the defense, when you will go for its printing, then obviously the abstract will be final, because abstract is the combination of your introduction, is the combination of is the slight combination of your introduction, slight combination of your problem statement, your broad objective, then your theory should be discussed over there, the methodological section should be discussed over there, and at the end you will discuss slightly the results as well. So this is only one page abstract, and on this one page abstract basically you are writing the all chapters of your thesis. Like there will be a hint of intro about your variables, there will be a hint of the theory, there will be a hint of the problem, there will be a hint of the questions and objectives and methodology, and at the end a slight hint about the results you got. So what basically this means that abstract is one of the most important thing that is very much read by the examiners who are coming for the examination, or who are coming for your thesis defense. So what is your purpose? That you have to be very much vigilant whenever you will write the abstract. But the point is that abstract should be written when the thesis will be completed, because this is one page concise discussion about the thesis, which should be very much inspirational, and which should be in a layman approach as well. So we are discussing what we discussed about the difference between proposal, and about the difference between proposal. Then we discussed about the title, what will be the title. Then we discussing about the abstract as well. So in a nutshell, what we discussed up till now, that the first thing is the difference between proposal and thesis. Proposal should be in the methodology of the proposal should be in future, while the methodology of the thesis should be in past. The difference is why, because in proposal you don't have the data in your hand, and most important thing, today discussions or today workshop or today class is only and only about the data analysis. But before data analysis, what are the most important steps? Being a student, being a professional, you have to learn, that are also very much important, and that we are discussing right now. Then we discuss about the title. Many students ask about the title, whether you can change the title after the proposal or not. So in many of Pakistani university, you cannot change the title. However, an international scenario with the mutual consensus of your supervisor, you can change the title as well. Then we move to the abstract. Abstract is not required in proposal. However, it is required in the thesis. Why? Because this is the most complete, concise document of a thesis, which is very much important. And I will request you all that, and I will tell you the psyche of the examiners as well, that examiner is very much interested in your abstract, because abstract is the combination of the what of the slide introduction, then problem statement, objective, a bit about the methodology, and then about the results as well. So abstract should be carefully developed. Uh, Next slide is about the. I'm audible to everyone, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next slide is about the introduction. Most of the student, their introduction is very boring. So about the introduction, what you will do, you have to bring it some spark into introduction. It should be catchy. It should be in a layman approach. Don't write too tough English in your introduction. It should develop the reader interest as well. And the introduction should discuss about the title. Your discussion in the introduction will be based on the title. Don't go anywhere from your title, because title will tell you about the introduction and introduction will tell you about the title. That is why the introduction section should be very much sparking, should be catchy, it should be in a layman approach, it should be in a leader interest, and the slight discussion about the title. And most important, that students should also discuss their dependent variable, independent variable, and other national and international phenomena about the topic in the introduction phase. Why? Because the first thing that a reader, that an examiner will study is your introduction, and most of the student don't care for the introduction. And how you will develop this introduction section? There is very easy way. How? Just just download top 10 paper of your topic and just go through their introduction, and find what they wrote about the same title or same topic, a little bit of slight different topic in the introduction. Obviously, if you will study the best journals, if you will study the best writers, then their introduction will obviously be different than a person, or and then a journal that is not very much popular as well. So for every section, what you have to do, you have to study the literature. And in paper literature, what you will do, the first para, like of introduction, everyone tries its best that the first paragraph of the introduction should be catchy, it should be sparking, it should not be in a very tough English. There should be a layman approach over here, and it should develop the reader interest as well. Because uh, before defense, you are a student. So when you are a student, your first objective is to get the goal of the degree, to get the defense, to get into defense and to get it pass as well. So uh, student should come with a psyche that he have to take the degree, and for taking degree, he have to make his introduction sparking, catchy, in a layman approach. Why? Because his thesis or his proposal will be read by his expected examiner. So when his expected examiner will read his thesis, obviously from the introduction, he can judge a writer, he can judge a student that how he wrote it. So introduction section should be very much catchy, and it should develop the reader interest. Another thing, which, in my opinion, a lot of students are asking about the problem statement. A lot of student is asking how to write the problem statement. Students are very much confused that how they will develop the problem statement. Even one of my students came to me, he told me that, sir, I developed the problem statement by my own. So you cannot develop the problem statement by your own if you if you see at the definition, or if you see at the proper wording problem statement. So you have to focus on this word statement, that this statement should be given by someone else. Either it can be in the shape of words, or in the shape of journal, or in the shape of article, or in the shape of any other report. But the statement should be valid, and the person should be valid, the journal should be valid, and most important, uh, the statement have a very, very valid reference. So what basically about this problem statement we have to look, because on the basis of this problem statement you will be allowed to do the research. Please keep this point in mind. On the basis of problem statement, you will be allowed to proceed your research. Without problem statement, you cannot even write your title as well. So first, what you will do, you have to find out the problem statement. I'm audible to everyone, please.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So please listen, everyone, either who is doing a job in office, either who is doing job in NGOs, either who is job in hospital or in universities, or any student. Whenever beside the proposal or thesis, leave the proposal or thesis, whenever you will work in a professional environment, there will be a problem. Either you have to face the problem, and the first thing will come in your mind that you have to face it. So coming to the academic world, what other part of the world is doing, that they are solving these problems through students. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, what is the dilemma, that we don't have the industry academia linkages. Like, if there will be industry academia linkages, so the industry will tells or will share the will tell or will share their problem, and the same student who are developing the theses or proposals will work on their problem, and thus there will be a linkages between industry and academia. Like in foreign countries, what you will get, that many industry have problem, and then they discuss this problem with their concerned higher educations, and then they give funds to the higher education, and higher education commission advertise the problem, that we need proposal on the same problem. So students of PhD mostly work on that problem, but they are paid every month for their work as well. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, if you are a PhD student, most of the PhD students are paying from their pocket as well. So this is an unfortunate. However, you people should prepare yourself for the international environment. This is the most important thing you have to make, that you have to make a significant contribution to the world as well. Like uh, like one of my friend, he got the UN project, and another I know of my friend who got the World Bank project. So you can go to their project, and when we heard about the project is not a helicopter concept. If you worked very well on your proposal, if you work very well on your thesis, if you learn how to write, if you learn how to analyze, then there is no one can stop you from writing about a project, and you can get it as well. So because I can bet you, if you are a good writer, and if you know the steps of the proposals, if you know the step of the thesis, then inshallah you can get any type of project from any type of industry, and you can have a lot of problem from the industry. They want to advertise in the shape of the project, and you can work over there, especially in UN, UNHCR, the World Bank, the British Council. They normally advertise their projects. So the project is the combination of what of your proposal and thesis. Like first time, if they will offer any project, you will go for writing the project, and the project is just like the proposal writing. So today you have to be very much careful for this session, as it is from A to Z session. So we were talking about the problem statement. How you will develop your problem statement? Read articles of the top journals. Okay. Then read article of the renowned authors as well. Read latest article, that is of 2020, and search for the problem statement in those articles. Every author have defined the problem statements. Like problem statement, if you look at the word statement, so they always show statement in the paper. But from a very valid reference, that is very much important. The utmost importance is the valid reference. You have to give a valid reference if you work on any project. Like for example, if the SECP chairman talk about any problem, yes, it is a valid problem. You can give the reference of SECP chairman. If for example State Bank says something about the problem, you can also highlight, you can also give a reference of that problem. Beside this, there are so many renowned authors, and if you read the articles of those renowned authors from the Google Scholar, then what will be happen? You can have a problem statement, and from those problem statement, you can give a valid references, because a valid reference is utmost important for problem statement. And otherwise you cannot continue your research without a valid reference. So I'm audible to everyone, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's good. So up till now, we discuss about the proposals and thesis difference. Then we discuss about the title. Then we discuss about the abstract. Then we discuss about the problem statement. So if you think about all these steps, these are the steps which you have to follow in a proposal. These are the steps which you have to follow in a thesis. So you have to write these portions of the thesis. So the most important thing is word that you should know before data analysis. That is why I considered it most important that don't ignore all the other steps, because only data analysis is not the key to success. The prerequisite steps are very much important, where you have to learn the difference about the title, about the abstract, about the problem statement. So in a nutshell, what we discussed that you were you was the research problem statement should be from articles of a top journals from a renowned author. It can be from the latest article, and latest article is very much important for it. And in a latest article, what you do, you have to look for the problem statement. Then you have to read the newspaper. You can also give the reference of newspapers as well. You can also read the company reports. You can listen to the government officials as well, what he is saying. So you can have the videos of him as a reference as well. And you can listen to the officials of the institutions, like you can listen to the official of SPCP, SVP, World Bank, UN, and so on. You can listen to the international news and views about your topic that you are interested to go for a research. So all these things will give you a very much base for running your research, because everyone will ask you about what, about the problem statement and the gap. Like I was confused so many times that students are very much confused in problem statement and gap. Okay, so don't be confused in problem statement. If you see any statement in any journal by a renowned author, in a latest article, or from an institutional head or officials, or from a national or international views, then what will be happen? You can have it as a reference, because when someone will ask you why you are doing this research, then by giving that reference, you are just validating your research, your objective, and your question. So this is the important thing you have to learn, that when you are going to develop the proposal, the first thing is your title, then your abstract, then your introduction, and then your problem statement. For all these things, you need to be very much careful. You need to develop with a lot of heart. You need to give a lot of time, because all these things will be generated from the readings, and from where you will read the top journals. So I'm audible to everyone, please,
Yes, sir.
and you're
Yes,
getting
sir.
my points as
Yes,
well.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next thing is the research question. Even I want to discuss something with the juniors as well. You can have a Fiverr Fiverr login, Fiverr account, and most of the people, especially in Gulf region, they cannot write the proposal as well. So if you learn about the research problem, if you learn about the gap, if you can learn how to download the paper, how to write, you can earn a maximum as well. People are earning, even even with us, we have some people, they are earning 100 to $150 per day as well. So this is one of the gateway for the success, for the interest, because in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, data analysis, proposal development, MS degree or PhD degree is the shortcut to success, especially for the females. If they are going for the MS or PhD, they have a big scope in the Gulf as well, because no, the world is going to be open. So uh, being a male, you have to create a difference. You have to create a difference with other students. Like if someone will ask you what is a research problem, so you can just ask them that research problem or research statement are stated by the people, that can be from institution, that can be from organization, that can be from the journals as well. So we are discussing about the abstract, about the title, about the introduction, about the problem. No, let's next move is a research question. Obviously, this is very much important. There is a PhD taxonomy. If you will go for blue taxonomy, there is also a PhD taxonomy on the basis of which you have to develop the research questions. Like the research question is basically is the answer what you discussed in the title. So for that title, you have to develop a problem statement. And the problem statement should be based on the research question. Okay? Yani, if there is any problem, for the solution of that problem, you have to develop some question in your mind. Then for giving the answers to that questions, you have to develop the objectives. So the objectives and the question will be based on what? On your problem statement. Because the chain or the process will start from the problem statement, then it will tied up with the research objective, then research objective will be tied up with the research questions, then research question and objective both will be tied up with the hypothesis, and then hypothesis will be tied up with the conceptual framework, then conceptual framework will be tied up with the theoretical framework, then theoretical framework will be tied up with the econometric framework, and econometric framework is the combination of all these things we will study later on. But there is a chain, like the people are studying the econometric framework. So this econometric framework is basically the combination of your whole thesis. We will study it. I have a slide for the econometric framework. So all the PhD student, all the MS student, all the MPhil student, whenever you will develop or when you will reach to the econometric framework, it means your theories been developed, your hypothesis been developed, your questions been developed, and your objective been developed, and your problem statement is quite clear. So uh, discussing about the research question that is tied up with the problem statement, what is the purpose of the research? Obviously, being a PhD student, being an MS or MPhil student, you should show this question: what is the purpose of the research? Why you want to conduct it? Either you are a student, either you are a professional, either you want to work with a collaboration in some other countries for a project, either you are doing as a Fiverr sign-in expert, or you're doing for someone. How you will do it? Okay, how you will do it? There will be a ways on the basis of which you have to do. Your purpose is to give solution to any problem. The research question is based on the problem statement. The problem statement is based on the specific industry. The question will be answered by objective, hypothesis, conceptual framework, and econometric framework, but all these will be based on either lens theory or underpinning theory. Okay, like what I am discussing, that for example, if you are a PhD student or MS MPhil student, you wrote about a problem statement. Okay, so when you wrote about a problem statement, what basically this means, that this is a problem. So how you will solve it? Obviously there will be some questions in your mind. How you will solve it? What will be the purpose? So your purpose will be either academic purpose, or you are working on any type of project. So for this answer, you have to develop the research objectives. Objectives are developed for giving the answers to the problems, and the questions are derived from the problems, and the questions will always be in your mind that what I have to do, like the research objective, for example, if you say corporate governance, for example, corporate governance will have a positive impact on the performance. So this is a hypothesis. Okay. Before this hypothesis, there will be objective uh, to examine the corporate governance impact on firm performance. And before this objective, there will be a question in your mind that what will be the impact of corporate governance on firm performance. So look at the chain. The first thing is the question in your mind, then the second one is the objective, and for this objective you develop a hypothesis, and hypothesis is actually based on the theory, and your aim or purpose will be met through hypothesis. All the objective and all the questions validity will be given through the hypothesis. Okay. And hypothesis के लिए आज का जो today we are conducting a seminar that is basically for giving the significant or insignificant contribution of the hypothesis. Today we will see how you will test the hypothesis. Today we will discuss this as well. But before that, this discussion, what we discuss, we are discussing about the specific things that a student have some misconception about. The first thing is the title. Very much important. Don't write title that words is 16. You have to write a 16 words title. That is an international standard. Then your abstract, no need of abstract in the proposal, because abstracts will be changed from time to time when you will write dissertation, when you will write the thesis. And after that, the introduction. Your introduction should be very much catchy. It should be in a layman approach. It should be easy understandable. Then we will come from introduction to the problem statement. Obviously, the problem statement is the main gust of the thesis, for which you have or you are doing the research, on the basis of which you will be recognized that yes, your research is okay. And the most important thing, the problem statement should be developed from the research articles, latest research articles, from the institutional heads, from the news, that should be a varied news, from the statements of the government officials, and so on. But you have to give the citation, you have to give the reference of this introduction. The most important thing that is also very much like alarming, that student did not know about the end note. Student have no knowledge about the Mendeley as well. So after this session, we will have a session next week, maybe next time, about the Mendeley, about the end note, about the data stream. So these three things will be discussed in some other discussion. But today we are discussing, and our core aim is to discuss about the data analysis, because most of the students, they just they slightly know about the introduction, about the hypothesis, about the objective, about the econometric framework. But when it comes to the to the analysis stage, so they feel a lot of difficulties. Today this session is for the analysis stage, but the first phase is about the general introduction, which is also very much important for what, for the analysis, because you cannot run analysis if you don't know about the problem statement, if you don't know about the questions, research questions, if you don't know about the research objectives, if you don't know about the hypothesis, if you don't know about the conceptual framework, if you don't know about the theoretical framework, and if you don't know about the econometric framework. So these are the 5 to 8 things which you should know. Either you are the student of the MS or you are student of the MPhil or PhD. The problem statement, the research question, the research objective, the hypothesis, the theoretical framework, the conceptual framework, and last but not the least, the econometric framework as well. So we are in the phase of the research objective. Research objective should be built forward for giving the answers to the questions, and questions are derived from the problem statement. Okay, no significance and contribution. Okay, so objectives are developed for giving the answer to the problem statement, and how you will develop the significance and contribution. Like uh, students are also asked about the contributions, about the significance. So please listen this carefully, that if you are an MPhil or MS student, you can do a contextual change. Contextual change kya hai? कि if a study is conducted in a developed country like in US, Australia, or Canada, so you can do a contextual change. It is acceptable to the standard of MS and MPhil. Like you can have a base paper, and on the base paper you can develop your idea, but you have to give the citation of that base paper as well, and you should know it very nicely as well. But to the standard of PhD, there is no contextual change is accepted. An examiner will always look about the contribution, what you contributed. So many people are contributing in the shape of the variables that is not worked before, in the shape of the methodology that is not worked before. Like before 10 years, there is a concept emerged with the moderation and mediation. Like every PhD student, they put moderation and mediations in their models. So obviously the world was going towards the moderation, and it was a new concept, moderation and mediation. So everyone accept this concept very nicely, and a lot of people have the PhDs and MS on this moderation and mediation because they considered it as a methodological contribution. However, if you are a new starter of PhD, what I will suggest you people to go for the artificial intelligence, to merge the artificial intelligence with your finance, with your marketing, with your HR. And I can bet you, if you work on that sector, you can be easily defend your thesis, because this is one of the novelty and one of the latest topic in the world. And even according to a research, up till 2025, the artificial intelligence, the big data, the Python and finance, there will be a mixture of it, and a lot of jobs will be created for these people. So get ready for that as well, especially all those students, all my MS MPhil student and PhD student who did not work, who did not select their topic, kindly go into artificial intelligence in the combination of finance, in the combination of marketing, in the combination of HR, because this is one of the market oriented topic, which will give you a lot of fruit, both in contribution as well as an economic benefit as well. So, talking about the significance and contribution, we can say we can have a methodological contribution. We can also have a theoretical contribution. We can also have an academic contribution. We can also have a practical contribution. The question arises over here, okay, what other world is doing? Like the thesis of like you, like we are going for YouTube, for Facebook, for all these things. These are basically the dissertation of the PhD students. Like today we have YouTube, obviously that is the dissertation of PhD. So you have the signal for the vehicles on the roads. This is the dissertation of the PhD student. What basically this means, if you look at here, they give a big solutions. Like the vehicle, obviously it was very difficult to control the vehicles if you don't have the red, yellow or green lights. So this is also a dissertation of the PhD student, your YouTube. it's awesome. This is also the PhD thesis. So what basically I means, they give solutions to the problems, and this is a contribution, either methodological or academic or industrial or practical or to the government. You have to do the contributions. Okay. So up till now, we are discussing about the title. What should be the title? It should not be more than 16 words. And then we discuss about the abstract. That abstract is not needed in proposal. However, it is needed in thesis, when thesis will be final, because time to time you have to change the abstract. Then we discuss about the introduction. The most important thing is also introduction. Introduction should be very much sparking. It should be catchy. It should be in a layman approach, and it should develop the interest of the reader. Because being a student, what you are doing, you are basically want to take the attention of the readers, and in this regard your introduction should be very much catchy. And how you will make this introduction catchy? By studying the different type of the papers from the best journals by the best authors. You just see their introduction, that will be very good. Then after introduction, we discuss about the problem statement. Obviously, you cannot proceed your research if your problem statement is not clear. So your problem statement should be clear, and it should be proper reference. Like reference should be there, and reference can be from a journal, from a paper, from the author of the paper, from any institutions, from any officials of the government, from national or international TVs, from news, and so on. But the thing is, the problem should be highlighted. Like I can give you a simple example of COVID-19. COVID-19 is killing everyone. So this is a problem, and medical sciences are doing a lot of research on it. And similarly, finance people are also doing a lot of research on it as well. The HR people are doing a lot of research on it. The marketing, especially marketing people says that this is a blessing, not a curse. So you can see that how they convert this problem from a curse to the blessing, because they worked on the market. They came from to the digital marketing. They came to the digital sales department. So what basically this means, they are doing this. In the finance people, they are showing the impact of stock exchange, COVID impact on different type of businesses. So a lot of things, this is a problem. And before this, like for example, if we talk about a problem, there is like taking it a simple in human resource management, like punctuality is a problem, turnover is a problem. So for this, a lot of people work. They had a lot of discussions with the employees, and after that they develop different type of frameworks. So what basically this means, if you look at the Google, and if you talk about any concept of marketing, HR, or finance, all these topics have a lot of problems, and these problems are solved from one or another way through different type of solution. They give different type of conceptual, theoretical, and econometric framework. So problem is also very much important. Your MS or MPhil thesis, without problem, without reference, you cannot run it. Like for example, if someone says that I am going to observe the impact of burnout of on performance. So look at this burnout. This is basically what burnout of the employee and the performance. Obviously, you have to go for the questionnaire. You have to go for the interview. You should ask him why this burnout. Okay, or you can see you can say impact of employee dissatisfaction on the performance. So look at this, the employee dissatisfaction is a problem, and you have to work for it. Similarly, if you are going for impact of capital structure on firm performance, So look at this, capital structure can be a big problem. And a lot of institutions of the world is affected by this. So you look at this, the title, and the title you are saying impact of capital structure on the firm performance. So capital structure, if you did not if there is any problem about the capital structure, obviously you have to follow it. So all the books that you have read up till date, all the articles, all the models, either it is the mathematical model, either it is the econometric model, either it is the corporate governance model. What basically this means, that basically giving an answer to the problem. Yani, uh, if if you will go for anything like if you will study any book, any chapter, you can have a problem, and for this that problem there is a solution in the book as well. So problem statement, you cannot move without the problem statement. So this should be kept in mind, that problem statement is very much important as well. So I'm audible to everyone, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
And
Yes, sir.
and you are getting my points as well, please.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So then move to the literature review. This is another very much important point, that without literature review, it's you will be a blind, because the problem statement we discuss should be from the literature review. The title we discuss should be from the literature review. The objective and everything will we discuss should be from literature. The gap, very much important, is from the literature review. And if you want a solution, if you have anything in your mind like misconception, just write that on the Google. You can have a literature for that, and you can have the answer for that. The only work of a PhD student is to study only 200 and to 300 paper, and please print all those paper whose literature is very much convincing and who is appealing you, and keep it in a file with you, people, because when you will go for a final defense, you can have that bunch of your paper which you read. You can keep it with you, and if there is any problem, you can show, you can see those problem, and you can highlight that, yes, I studied this problem statement from here. So this is only a tip. In a literature review, how you will go for the literature review? A lot of students don't know about the Google Scholar as well, especially I'm talking about the juniors as well. So you have to go to the Google Scholar. You should type in Google the Google Scholar. Then when Google Scholar will be open, then click on Google Scholar. There is a search bar over there. You should write a topic over there, and then you should scroll down. There will be a PDF file. If it is attached with a PDF file, just download that PDF file. But listen, one thing that is very much important, that in start the student are downloading everything. Okay, so don't download everything, just that is either very near to your topic or most relevant to your topic. Just download that paper and study that paper and highlight that paper. You will be reach on a concept that if, that this paper author had did it in this way. So there is a way which I can do it as well. So according to ABH, he says about the literature that literature review is the best answer to all the theses write-up. So go for the literature review. If you are in a proposal stage, if you are in a write-up stage, you have to download the hot favorite authors, because everyone should know about their hot favorite author as well. So if you like an author, just write the name of the author and their Google citations. Then go to his Google citations as well. You can have his or her paper over there, and you can download it from there, or you can request to him on his email that please I need this paper, you can send me this paper as well. because because mostly in not in our research, in the sciences research, or in computer sciences research, codes are developed. So sometime if you need a code, and you read a paper of an author that belongs to Italy, Germany, or India, or somewhere else, you email him to please can you share the code with me. So if he's kind, and mostly PhD who did their PhDs, they are kind, they send you the code. So this then it becomes very easy for you, especially the codes for the Python. The nutshell is that you have to be very much expert in the literature review, and you should know the specific title. You should know the author, that which is the how your heart 10 heart favorite authors you should know. And because in an interview someone can ask you who is your favorite author as well, like who is your favorite researcher as well. You can have a lot of researcher, but you should know who is the best researcher in your topic, and you can discuss there with them. Even you can email to them, you can discuss your thesis and desert. Especially I'm talking about the PhD students, you can also have that as well. So moving to the next slide, that is about the gap identifications. I'm audible to everyone.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Please, you are getting me, or I should change the style. If you are getting me, then it's okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So for gap identifications, there is a very simple method. We have an error term in the econometric model. What that error term means that all those variable which is left over and which is not the part of this econometric model is called as the error term. Because if there is no error term, then your research is an ideal research. So every researcher put an error term. This error term means that although I put all these variable in the econometric framework, however, there are some other important variable which can also have an impact but left over and is not part of this econometric model. So you should look for that error term, because the other variable that is the part of the econometric model, you can get that from the other journals as well. Then future direction, you for gap identification, just when you are reading a paper, go and see the future direction of the latest journal paper. Most of the author, they give future direction. So future direction can also give the gap identification. But the point is once again over here that for studying a journal paper, it indirectly means you are studying the literature. Okay, you are studying the literature. So when you are studying a paper, you have to look for the future direction of the author that is at the end of the paper. Okay, at the end of the paper, and mostly in the last lines of the paper. Study the maximum literature, because literature is the Spider-Man of the thesis. You can have all the solution from the literature in a quick time, but what is the most important that you have to read it. After reading, you can become a Spider-Man, because then you can have all the solutions based on the literature, because literature will give you solution for the gap identification. Literature will give the problem statement, and these are the two things on the basis of which you have to conduct the research. Because if there is a problem and if there is a gap, mean a problem is also existed, but no one worked on it means no one worked on it means you identified the gap. So you are the one who will work on it. But on working on this problem or on working on this gap, you have to study the literature. Okay. So another thing is about the variable selection from the literature. Obviously, this is very much important. The variable selection is very much important, like dependent variable, independent variable, moderating, mediating, and control variable. This is very much important. However, there is a theory about it. And the theory is called inclusion and exclusion theory. Inclusion and exclusion theory. You cannot put all the variables which you study in literature, like what are discussed, that you can select the variables in your study, and that will come from the literature. Oh yes, this is okay, but you cannot put all the variables, all the dependent variable, independent variable, mediating and moderating, and there will be a mixture of everything. No, you have to follow a specific theory that is called inclusion exclusion theory. Inclusion exclusion theory is basically what you have to give the answer why you are including this dependent variable, why not this one. At the end, an examiner can ask you why you are using this one, and you have to answer them, and the answer should be from the literature. And from the literature you should have a gap in your study, because then you will answer him through the gap. uh, and then exclusion, why you are excluding the variable, why not this variable, this is also a good variable, why you don't want to why you want to exclude it. So you should also have that answer as well, based on the inclusion and exclusion theory. So we are discussing about what, about the title, about the abstract, about the introduction, about the problem statement, about the research objective, about the research question, about the literature, and about the selection of the dependent and independent variable, and based basis should be the inclusion and exclusion theory. So let's take a short break, then I will come and we will start it again. Okay, break of 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum once again.
Walaikum assalam, sir.
Walaikum salam, sir.
Okay, so up till now we discussed about what? About the title, about the abstract, about the introduction, about the problem statement, about the research objective, research questions, about the literature, about the significance, and about how you will select the dependent and independent variable from a specific literature. And for that, we are on this last slide, we discussed about the inclusion and exclusion theory. Now moving to the next slides, that is also very much important. You have to develop the frameworks. These are very much important because the first framework will be a conceptual framework. The conceptual framework is basically when you are studying the literature, a lot of theories will come in your mind, a lot of concepts will come in your mind. So the conceptual framework is not specifically relevant to your study. It is a mixture of different concepts. That can be different methodology, that can be different theories, that can be multiple theories as well, and that can be multiple contribution as well. So your conceptual framework, because if you are a PhD or MS or MPhil student, a lot of things are running in your mind. But when you final write the thesis, then you say, oh, this was the thing I was looking for, and before this a lot of concepts were running in my mind. So the conceptual framework is relevant to your topic, but that is not directly or specifically your topic. Moving from conceptual framework to the theoretical framework, yes, theoretical framework is the utmost important framework without which you cannot run the analysis. Please keep this point in mind, that theoretical framework have to be developed because this is the relationship which you have developed in between dependent and independent variable. And what you do in a regression model, you have to run this independent variable with dependent variable. So for this regression model, you have to develop a theoretical framework, and theoretical framework is based on the relationship between dependent variable and independent variable. So what basically this means, that this is an independent variable and this is a dependent variable. You have to develop the relationship between these two. Like, so simple, from a daily life. Why I will hate you? Okay? Why I will hate you? Obviously, there will be some reasons, and that reasons are basically what? Are basically the independent variable which is affecting the hate. So the relationship is what? हो सकता है कि you are not good with me, that is why I hate you. हो, maybe you are not punctual, that is why I hate you. Maybe you gave me some harm, that is why I hate you. But what I discussed with you, punctuality, harm, not good, these are the independent variables, and this is dependent variable you are hating. So because of these independent variable, your relationship is developed in the shape of the hate. Similarly, from academic point of view, if I will want to give you the example that board of directors has a significant impact on what? On firm performance. So obviously, are the board of directors and uh, owner of the firm has a positive and negative impact on the firm performance. Sorry. So what you're creating a relationship on the basis of what? On the basis of agency theory. Like, if the relationship between manager and owner is not okay, then there will be a negative impact. because the relationship is built on the biasness between the manager and owner. And if the manager and owner have a good relationship, obviously the firm performance will be increased. Similarly, if you want to ask about any theoretical example like capital structure has a positive impact on firm performance. Obviously, there is a pecking order theory, there is a capital structure theory. So you develop a relationship of theory that capital structure has a positive impact on firm performance. But if you will not follow the pecking order theory, if you will not follow the capital structure theory, obviously you cannot develop this relationship. That is why theoretical framework is very much important. And theoretical framework, in past, please keep this point in mind. In past, people love to develop a theoretical model based on one theory. Like in past, people like to develop the whole model, the relationship of the whole model between dependent and independent variable on one theory. But the concepts has been changed now. You can develop your model on a multiple theoretical concept. Like you can have a multiple theoretical concept in your theoretical model now. In past, it was very much in the academia that only one theory should develop the should define the whole relationship of the model. But now you can develop the relationship of dependent and independent on a multiple theoretical concept. And beside this, another thing that you have to think in your mind, that if there is a lens theory, okay, there is a lens theory and there is an underpinning theory. Lens theory, jab aap, when you write all the literature and you put a lot of theory over there, that is relevant to your topic, that is lens theory. But underpinning theories, you have to write the underpinning theories, that what are the underpinning theories that define the relationship of your model. Okay, we will study this theory, we will prove this theory, we will see the models, because the next phase is of data analysis. So you will see all these things over there. In data analysis, you don't need only to run the software, you need the concepts as well, because without concepts you cannot run the software. So you should have the concept of the theory, you should have the concept of the hypothesis, you should have the concept of your objective, that what is your objective, whether it will be meet or not, and what type of problem you are going to investigate. So all these things should be over there in your mind. And at the end, that is last but not the least, the econometric framework. Very important. A lot of econometric framework can be developed. We will discuss today in the data analysis section that what type of an econometric framework you have to work on it. But simple word, you can see the econometric framework. Simply this y is a dependent variable and all the other x1, x2, x3 are the independent variable, and beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3 are the coefficient of the model. So this is called an econometric model. And what basically this means, that you are basically in a full package of everything, means objective, question, hypothesis, theory, significant, and so on. Like if you I'm audible to everyone, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. देखिए, if you look over here to the econometric model, look at here. This econometric model is a full package of what? Is a full package of what we discussed for the last 1.5 hours. Like you can see the objectives over here. You can see the problem over here. You can see the hypothesis over here in the econometric framework. You can see the theory over here in the econometric framework. Like say for example, this x1 is like board of director, and this Y is firm performance. So first develop the objective. We can say to examine the impact of this X1 as a board of director on Y performance. So this is an objective. So coming to the question, we can say what will be the impact of X1 on Y? X1 may be board of director, on Y is a firm performance. So you can have this objectives, you can have, and hypothesis. Hypothesis is that board of director has a significant positive impact on the performance. So what I want to share with you people, that if you people are able to know about the econometric framework, actually you are near to the whole thesis, because the previous things we have discussed about the problem statement, about the research question, about the research objectives, about the hypothesis, about the theory, about the dependent, independent, moderating, mediating variable, all these things is available in your econometric framework. You have to close your eyes, you can think about it, that my questions, my objectives, my hypothesis, everything is over here. And most important thing, you have to run the analysis for this econometric framework. Like if you have 2 econometric framework, if you have 3 econometric framework, 5 econometric framework, 20 econometric framework, you have to run the analysis for that, because this is a regression. This is a regression, and in Stata you have to run the analysis for the regression. That is why, and regression will give you the answer to your theory, regression will give you the answer to your research question, regression will give you the answer to your research objective, regression will give answer to the hypothesis, regression will give answer to the problem statement at the end. Based on this regression results, means based on R square, based on the beta, based on the means coefficient, based on the p value, based on the t value, all the answer to question, objective, hypothesis, theory, significance will be available. But before that, you have to do the to develop the econometric framework, and this econometric framework will be based on the theory. And the theory basically means that theory will develop the relationship between one independent and one dependent variable. Mind it, every independent in relationship to dependent variable should be defined based on theory. So either this theory is one theory, or it's multiple theoretical concepts. So it's up to you people. You are getting me, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All the guest,
Yes,
the
sir.
PhD students are here. PhD students.
Yes, sir.
So you are getting me, please?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I am a student.
Sorry. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. No issue. I know. But what I thought, PhD students should know a lot about this. Okay. So this is basically a framework to be developed, conceptual, theoretical, again, econometric framework. And this framework should be based on the objective question hypothesis. Okay. The methodology portion is very much important, and for which we have to work. Methodology portion is what framework you have developed should be addressed with proper methodology. Like before this, we studied about the econometric framework. Okay. So econometric framework is not only a word, it is the combination of dependent and independent variable with an error term. Okay. So when you will move, or when you will enter to methodology portion, you have to keep something very much important in your mind, that you have to run the econometric model on SPSS, or on eViews, or on Strata, or on anything else. But what will be happen that whenever you are going to develop the econometric framework, you have to keep the methodology portion in your mind, that although I am developing this econometric framework, but it have to be answered in future in the shape of what? In the shape of methodology portion. And how you will do this methodology portion? Let's come. You have to develop a specific framework that that should be developed based on the methodology. So what are the broad area in methodology? Like for example, the essence of today workshop is started from here. Now you can start it from the methodology portion, that before methodology most of the MS, MPhil and PhD student, they understand the things, but here the methodology portion is started. That is why please very much specific, be agile, get yourself fresh, have a copy and pen, and we are starting the most important portion of today workshop is the methodology portion. Methodology portion is nothing but giving the answer to your econometric framework. How you develop that econometric framework is also included in the methodology section. So let's start with it. Okay. What basically this means, which is before going anything, there should be a research design. And what research design refers to? The overall approach of a research process from theoretical underpinning to the collection and analysis of the data. So very simple. You can have three things over here: theoretical underpinning, collection of the data, and analysis of the data. That is why the research design should be like that. You should have a theoretical underpinning for what? For your econometric model. Then you should have the, you should know about how you will collect the data. For what? For your econometric framework. Then you have to do the analysis of the data. For what? For your econometric framework. So research design is like this. For example, you have to collect the, you have to develop the underpinning, theoretical underpinning, the collection of the data, and then the data analysis. And the most attractive portion of every workshop is the data analysis. However, I will suggest you people that before data analysis, you should learn all the other portion, the problem statement, the introduction, the inclusion, exclusion theory, the literature review, and so on. So coming to the methodology section, we first discuss about the research design. Research design is like you have the hanger, different hangers in your cupboard. So the first hanger will be underpinning theory. The second one is the collection of the data. And the third one is the analysis. Analysis is the last portion of today's discussion. So let's come to the research approach and strategy. Most of the people have a lot of questions about the research philosophy. uh, and most important thing is like that, when we were studying the secondary data, someone is studying the primary data. So sometimes students have some discussion that whether primary is good or secondary is good. Someone says, I worked very hard, I went, I distributed the questionnaire and I gathered the data, so it's very hard work. And he says to the people who are downloading the data as a secondary data, don't worry for all these things, all people will get their degrees, but you have to learn what is, why you are using the secondary data, why you are using the primary data. That needs the research philosophy. And for those research philosophy, you have some strategies, and these strategies are called research philosophy. The first one is the positivism approach, and then interpretivism approach, and then realism approach. These three approaches will tell you that where you will go. Either you will go for the primary data, or you will go for the secondary data, or you will go for the mixture of the data. So keep this point in mind. The first one is the positivism approach. Okay, positivism approach is very much important. Positivism is basically, it is a philosophy, a research philosophy that is working with observed social reality. uh, Another important point of this is that it assumes that reality exists in advance in the shape of a literature. So you are just thinking about it, that it is working on the observed social reality, and the reality is existed in advance. The positivism approach is also said the quantitative approach. Like if you think about the previous two points, that observed social reality and about the existence, obviously the quantitative data is existed. That is why quantitative data is basically a secondary research. So if you are going for the philosophy of a positivism, you are basically going for a quantitative approach. You are basically going for a secondary data approach, because you believe on the observed social reality, and you believe that this is also assumed to be existed and also correct as well. So next one is that positivism approach will predict and analyze testable hypotheses. Okay, so in secondary data, what we do, we predict and analyze the testable hypothesis. It also called deductive approach as well. Here we have already the data in advance, just we have to work on it. We should develop the theory first, then based on this theory, we will make relationship between dependent, independent, moderating, mediated, anywhere else. Very simple. Positivism approach, they believe on the observed social reality. They believe that reality is existed. They trust the past data. They trust the past literature. They trust the different database, either from WDI, either from SECP, either from company reports, either from data stream, either from Bloomberg, either from S&P Global. So simply, positivism is directly linked with the quantitative approach, and quantitative approach is a secondary approach. So keep this in mind, that positivism is a, so if you are working on a secondary data, then you are using the real research philosophy as a positivism approach. Means
सर पॉजिटिविज्म की कोई एग्जांपल देंगे अप्रोच की?
सिंपल एग्जांपल ये है कि अगर आप डेटा, फॉर एग्जांपल आप डेटाबेस से कोई चीज़ डाउनलोड कर लें, जो जिसके लिए आपको क्या कहते हैं, क्वेश्चनियर या इंटरव्यू नहीं लेना पड़े, ऑलरेडी डेटा अवेलेबल है, उसको आप डाउनलोड कर लें, उस डेटा पे आप एनालिसिस कर लें, उसी डेटा को आप कंसीडर कर रही हैं कि दिस इज करेक्ट, this is real. That is why, and also in the quantitative way as well. So you work on that. Like secondary data क्या है, basically वो positivism है. यानी अगर आपका रिसर्च अगर आप किसी अगर आप काम कर रहे हैं कि इम्पैक्ट ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस ऑन फर्म परफॉर्मेंस, तो कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस के क्या है कि उसका बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स है, ऑडिट वगैरह है, इसका डेटा ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है, फर्म परफॉर्मेंस का भी अवेलेबल है, ROA ROE EPS की शक्ल में, देखें ये दोनों डेटा ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है. सो व्हाट बेसिकली दिस मींस के you are believing on the observed social reality, you are believing on the existing data, your approach is quantitative, you are just downloading the data from a secondary source. That is why this will be a positivism research philosophy.
सर हम डेटा को एनालाइज करेंगे, जो ऑलरेडी डेटा प्रोवाइड है, इट्स ओके और नॉट, ये चीज हम इसमें कंसीडर करेंगे.
Yes, if a student will go for a secondary data approach, then this is called a positivism approach. What basically this means ke students are divided into different. Some students are preferring the secondary data. Some people are working on the primary data. So people who are working on secondary data, basically they are following the positivism research philosophy, because in positivism research philosophy they are actually believing on the existing data. They don't need to go to retrieve new data by questionnaire. They are basically believing on the existing data. On the existing data means on the different database like data stream, S&P global, Bloomberg, like SECP reports, like State Bank report, like World Bank data. These are the secondary data. So a student will have a positivism approach, a positivism philosophy in this one. However, it will be cleared in the next slide that interpretivism is totally different than positivism. What? Because interpretivism don't work with the observed social reality in advance, needs on spot real data through primary techniques. Okay, yani what basically this means in secondary data you have already the data in your databases, so you believe on that and you work on that and you draw the results. However, in interpretivism what you do, you don't believe on the existing data. That is why you choose to do the primary research. And in primary research, you have to use the primary techniques for getting the new data that is not already available. That is why what you do, you don't believe on the observed social reality, because you think that I will get a new data and on a new data I will work. That is why positivism is a quantitative approach. Positivism is a secondary data approach, while interpretivism is a qualitative approach. It is a primary data approach. Like it is also said a qualitative approach as well. This approach will not predict and analyze testable hypotheses, but something already not existed. Already not existing means you will go, you will search for the data, you will gather the data either through questionnaire or through observation or through interviews, and then this will be a first hand data, and this first hand data is not already available like the quantitative data. So this is another approach. The third approach is the mixture approach, is that is realism. Realism says that believing on the positivism or believing on the interpretivism is very hard. So he will say the combination of both of the positivism and interpretivism, because the in realism they are based on the history, they are based on the belief, they are based on the assumption, they are based on the moral values as well. So what basically this approach assumes that there is a flaws if we use both approach separately. Like if we they basically says that combine these approach and work on like on qualitative and quantitative research for the same models, and then bring the comparisons of the qualitative and quantitative data. Like many people are doing the combination of primary and secondary research, especially in PhD, and this trend is very much in UK. If you will go, if you will study the thesis of the UK, they will follow the positivism approach in the same thesis, and then they will go for the interpretivism approach as well. Why? Because at the end they have to do the comparisons of the both datas, that which is giving the best results to the academicians, to the problem statement. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है
क्वेश्चन
सर अगर हम
क्वेश्चन शुड ऑलवेज बी एट द एंड. मैंने कहा था कि जब सेशन खत्म हो जाए देन वी विल डिस्कस. राइट योर क्वेश्चन प्लीज, वी विल डिस्कस एवरीथिंग. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So up till now, what we discussed about the title, about the abstract, about the introduction, about the problem statement, about the research objectives, about the research questions, about the literature review, about the significance, about the inclusion exclusion theory, about the research methodology, about the theoretical, conceptual, and econometric framework. And then we discuss about the research philosophies, that what is the positivism approach, what is the interpretivism approach, what is the realism approach. Some students are doing the positivism approach, like they are working on the secondary data, especially the people belongs to finance. Mind this, especially the people belongs to finance and accounting and economics, they work on the positivism approach, because what they do, they work on the quantitative data. And what is quantitative data? That is basically a secondary data. And what is a secondary data? That is already available. So they just go to the different databases, and on the basis of different databases, they have their econometric framework. They have defined their dependent and independent variables. And on the basis of dependent and independent variables, what they do, they just download their data. So keep this in your mind, that people of finance are doing the positivism approach. Then if you talk about the HR and marketing people, they mostly follow the interpretivism approach, because they have to survey the market, they have to go to spread the questionnaire in the market, and they have to take the interviews from different type of research, from different type of market stakeholders, and so on. Well, there is a realism approach. It's a new concept, and very much in the West as well, that they use the both. Once they work on the quantitative data, then they convert this quantitative data, this qualitative data into quantitative, and they work on it. Specifically in New Zealand or UK or in developed country, you can see their thesis as well. No, we will discuss about the broad areas in the methodologies. What will be the most important areas in the methodology? Let me sign in these two. Okay. Okay. So another important issue that you people can have is about the population. Very much important. Population selection is very much important. Your sample. What is your sample? Your sampling techniques. How you take the sample from your population. You have a sampling formula, that is Salvin 1960 formula. On the basis of formula, you have to develop the sample. You cannot close your eyes simply and can take the sample. No, there will be some formula, that is Salvin 1960 formula, and you will take. And then sample selection criteria should be there. You should have a criteria for sample selection. Either you want to work in a financial sector or want to work in a non-financial sector. Then what will be the rationale for sample year selection? Very much important. Final sample of the study should be very much important. Then different type of parameters and measurement. Look at this one slide. This one slide can pinch you, and this one slide can give all the solutions to your problem and all the solution to your econometric framework. Like for example, your sample should be selected very carefully. Some people select the sample, but when they see, they don't have the data of that sample. When they just go for the data collection, they cannot get the data of that sample. When they go towards the databases, then that sample have no databases over there. That is why choosing the sample should be, sample means the audience from where you will collect the data, and on the basis of this sample you will go to take the decision for the whole population. Means the model you are developing should be based on all these things. That is why sample is very much important, because sample is the representative of the population. And mind this thing in your mind that sample is basically your data. And when you will go for the data collection, the sample should be built in such a type of situations whose data is available. And if it is not available, then for a PhD or MS student, this is very much like it's very nasty for them as well. So sample is very much important. Rationale for samples, years is very much important. Some people don't think that he took time series data. Some people took panel data. Some people took cross section without thinking of it. You should think for it. Some people take time series data for the firms, and mostly they took such a type of firms whose data is not available. So what you will do? The most important thing, in my opinion, being a researcher, when you will move to the methodological section, you have to open your eyes for the sample, for the population. Okay, you select a population, either that is like a financial or non-financial sector, then go to the sectors. If you want to work in a specific sector, select that specific sectors. Then for that specific sector, you have to look for the specific companies. So you have to select such a type of company who is registered on SECP, on stock exchange, and who has submitted all their reports, who has a proper websites, who have a proper audit reports, and so on. Then criteria should be like this, that all those companies, all those audience should not be selected who are not giving you the data. Like for example, agar if someone is working on in marketing and in HR, and he select the, 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 the sample to gather data from the owners of the company. So how it will be? I don't think so owner can give you time, or CEOs. Obviously, in Pakistan, I don't think so he have the time to give you. That's why your audience or your sample should be in such a way about which you can collect the data very easily, because the last portion, the last section of data analysis, of data gathering, of population, of moving here and there, and if you're not getting the data, this can take you to the depressions as well. But in order to capture in advance this depression, your sample should be built very properly, whose data is available. Okay, you are getting me, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Next one is the next phase is considered as the most horrible, but not. This phase is considered the most horrible, but I think so it's not a horrible phase. Uh, in my opinion, if you will go with me step by step for the data analysis, you can reach on to conquer this horrible stage as well. So then data selection and collection, how you will select the data and how you will collect the data. Very horrible phase. It's a myth, in my opinion. Reality is you can easily select the data and you can easily collect the data as well. In my opinion, this is my personal opinion, but this step is very much important. Now, after some time, you will move to the data analysis, but some people think it is one of the horrible phase. This is only a myth. Please be with me during this analysis. I will show you step by step analysis that there is not very much helicopter concept in data collection, and then data collection, how you will analyze the data as well. So what is data basically? You have studied before this about the positivism, interpretivism, and realism approach. So there are two type or three type of people will be here. Some people will work on the positivism research philosophy, and some will be on interpretivism. So what is data? There are two types of data. One is quantitative data, the other one is qualitative data. Quantitative data is in the shape of discrete or in the shape of continuous, that is also called a secondary data as well. While qualitative data, it may be dichotomic or polynomic, and it is also called a primary data. So there are two type of data. One is primary and secondary. Primary is basically qualitative data, and secondary is quantitative data. There are uh, types of the data, that is discrete data, continuous data, dichotomic data, and polynomic data as well. Most of the people are work on discrete and continuous data if they choose quantitative style. Okay, if you're working on a quantitative data, means on a secondary data, you either will work in a discrete data or in a continuous data. But if you are the student of HR and marketing, then you will choose the qualitative data. And qualitative data may be dichotomic, male and female, may be polynomic. Polynomial means poly means more than two, one, two, three, four, five means maximum people. So level of educations you can have one, two. Basically, the scales you will develop will be used is either it will be a dichotomic data or it's a polynomial data. So numeric scale of measurement, you can have nominal and ordinal, you can have interval and ratio. So this is a slide uh, this is a slide which is very much important, because on the basis of this slide you have to develop your scale as well. For the primary data research people, you have to develop your own scale, or if you don't want to develop this scale, just adopt from someone else, but you have to give the reference of that person from where you are downloading the questionnaire of someone else as well. However, for a quantitative data analyst, you have a lot of other options as well. So quantitative data and qualitative data, how you can, what are the different databases from where you can get the quantitative data and qualitative data. Like the quantitative data can be downloaded as it is a secondary data, so already available. So you can download it from S&P Global, from Bloomberg, from data stream, from State Bank of Pakistan, from World Bank, or from already developed index, from the content analysis report, SECP, Pakistan Stock Exchange, and so on. So what basically this means that we are discussing about the data, that what is a data. So data can be divided into primary and secondary. The primary data is qualitative data, secondary is quantitative data. The primary data, you have to develop either the scale for the primary data, and for the secondary data there is no need of scales. You have to download it either from S&P Global, Bloomberg, data stream, State Bank of Pakistan, World Bank, from reports from SECP or from Pakistan Stock Exchange, or there are many also other databases in the world from where you will collect the data. However, for the qualitative data, what you will do, you have to conduct the interviews, you have to conduct the questionnaires, you have to conduct the meeting observations, and so on. So up till now, what we have discussed about the difference between proposal and the thesis. Uh, if you will write the methodology of the proposal, what you will do, you have to write in the future tense. Okay, and if you write the methodology for the thesis, you have to write it in the past tense. Then we discuss about the introduction of the thesis or of the proposal should be sparking, it should be eye catching, it should develop the the interest of the readers. Then we discuss about the problem statement. The problem statement should be from the very renowned author papers, from the journals, from the statement of the government officials, and so on. Then we discuss that all the questions, any research question and research objectives should be derived from the problem statement, that what will be the research question, and in order to give the answer you have to develop the research objectives as well. Then we discuss about the literature review, and literature review is like a hitman, it's like a Spider-Man. It gives solution to everything, and you have to study the literature for every solution. The next we discuss about the selection of the dependent and independent variable. There is an inclusion and exclusion policy on the basis of which you have to decide why you are including the dependent variable, why you are including the independent variable. Then we discuss about the gap. Obviously, the gap can be very much crucial and very much important, but the only way or solution for finding the gap is the literature review. You have to study the literature review thoroughly, then you can get the gap of the study. And it will come from different type of the papers. That is you can just go to the Google Scholar and you will just write the specific title, and on the basis of specific title on the right hand side there will be years. So click the to 2020, you can get the papers of 2020, and you can download the PDF format. Then you have to study this paper, but the hint is that you have to study the last lines that is written by the author, and who want to give you a future direction, that you have to use this as well. Beside this, about the gap, there is an error term, and error term means that still the gap is existed in the existing econometric model. Okay, then we discuss about the sample, we discuss about the population, we discuss about the criteria, we discuss about the data, about the primary data and about the secondary data. Then we discuss about the research philosophy, the positivism, realism, and about the interpretivism. Then we discuss about the quantitative data and qualitative data. The quantitative data databases are discussed, like in the shape of, you can get the quantitative data from the data stream, State Bank of Pakistan, World Bank, and already developed indexed based on content analysis from the reports of the company. For a qualitative data, you can develop the questionnaires, you can go for the interviews, you can go for the observations, and there are also many ways through which you can develop the data. So today workshop is basically for the data analysis. But before data analysis, what you have to do, you have to be very much clear about all these concepts about the data, either primary or secondary, about the databases from where you will get this data, about the econometric framework, how you will develop the econometric framework. And now the next phase will be of very much important, that is about the data analysis. So how you will present the data? You can present the data through charts, through diagrams, through paragraph. You can also see data stream videos, how this data can be downloaded as well. So let me show you a data stream video only. You can see this video, and after seeing this video, you will be very much astonished that secondary data can be downloaded very easily from the data stream that is already available over here. So I'm going to share a data stream video with you people. You just see the video and then tell me that whether you understand or not. But the video is the purpose of the video is only to show you the interface of the data stream, that is only for the secondary data student, and from where you can download the data for your econometric model in the shape of dependent variable, independent variable, moderating variable, and mediating variable. Then when you will download the data in the shape of the Excel form from the data stream, you can run the analysis, and the analysis will be the next phase. So uh, uh, so up till now, we have finished the first portion of the workshop, where we discuss about the basics, about the basics, that is very much important, about some misconception about the title, about some misconception about the theory, about the relationship, about the inclusion exclusion policy. We cleared ourselves that we have to take such a type of population, such a type of sample, such a type of parameter whose data is available, because it will create problem if our selection for the sample is not good. That is why let me show you the video, but this video is only for the secondary data student. However, the primary data student can also see this data, that how the data stream, did you heard about the data stream? So how the data stream will go forward for the for the different type of data, and how you will collect, you will do it. So after watching this video, what will be happen? You have to write your questions, and when I will come to the next session, then we will have the question of this first session. So I will start the next session, that will be a roadmap of the data collection, and then how we will do the data analysis through Stata. So please see this video, and after this video I will join you for your live question and answers of this session, what we discussed. Then we will move to the next session, that is of data analysis. So let me share another thing with you people.
Welcome to this tutorial showing Welcome to this tutorial showing how to find companies.
Can you hear it?
And equity statement.
सर वीडियो
Yes,
थोड़ी
sir.
सी चल के फिर ऑडियो कंप्लीट नहीं आ रही, वीडियो भी शो नहीं हो रही.
अभी हो गई?
I successfully logged into the screen and I'm going to use the pause request option here on the left to open this.
Can you see the data now? Oh, video, sorry.
No sir, no sir.
No, sir.
Search find series, and this launches the data stream navigator.
सर मुझे वीडियो शो नहीं हो रही.
It's a good idea.
दूसरों को anyone else?
नो सर नहीं
Sir,
शो
no,
हो रही है।
show
नहीं
नहीं
show
हो
रही सर.
Okay.
वेला होते फिर.
Clear all. Then I'm going to choose a single category, and because it's a company I'm interested in, I'm going to choose X to make sure I'm in the right part of the navigator.